Problem 18. Deepak, the proprietor of Vishal Departmental Store, having three departments, namely A, B, and C, decided to calculate separate profit for his departments for the month of March 2019. So this is not, he's not calculating profit for the entire year, but just for the month of March 2019. Stock on 31st March could not be valued, that's the closing stock, could not be valued for certain unavoidable reasons, but his rates of gross profits on sales for the A, B, and C departments are 40%, 30%, and 30% respectively. So what they have done is they have not given us a closing stock, but they are telling us how to calculate the gross profit. Gross profit is basically 40% of the sale amount of each of the departments. Okay. The following information is given: opening stock on 1st April 2018, salary, purchases and sales. Indirect expenses for the whole business of all the three departments are rupees 10,800. Out of this, 1/6 of the whole are to be divided in all the three departments in proportion to 1 is to 1 is to 3 respectively, and the balance of indirect expenses is to be charged in proportion to departmental sales. So the total indirect expenses, this is the only expense that is there besides salary. Out of this, 1/6 is to be divided in this proportion, and the remaining, whatever is there, the remaining has to be divided in the proportion of departmental sales. Okay, so this is the only complication. It's a very small problem. It's the only complication. So what I'm going to do is, in the books of Vishal Departmental Store, Departmental Trading and Profit and Loss account for the month of March 2019. Okay, so two opening stock, The opening stock given is 9,000, 8,400, and 12,000. They've also given us the purchases, two purchases, it's 27,000, then 21,600 and 90,000. And the side you have buy sales. Buy sales, it's 42,000. Then there is 36,000, and we also have 1,02,000. Salaries is also given. The salary will go in the profit and loss section. So we will finish this first. Now we don't know the closing stock. Normally what we would have done, we would have had the closing stock and we would have calculated the gross profit. That would be the answer. But right now we know the gross profit. Indirectly we know the gross profit. And how do we calculate the gross profit? They've said 40%, 30% and 30% of the sales. The rate of gross profit on sales is this. So for A it will be 40% of 42,000, which is going to be 16,800. For B, it's going to be 30% of 36,000, which is going to be 10,800. And for C, it's going to be 30% of 1,02,000, which is going to be 30,600. And now we will find out our closing stock. Basically, the closing stock will be the balancing figure. So if you check this, the totals here. These two are not required. You check the totals here. The total here comes to 52,800, 40,800, and 1,32,600. So your closing stock is going to be the balancing figure. So the closing stock is going to be the answer. So by closing stock, it's 10,800, 4,800, and 30,600. Okay. Now, please don't make a mistake because this was the answer. Don't bring this amount down. We still bring the gross profit down, but they told us what the gross profit is in advance so that we could calculate the closing stock. Okay, so to buy gross profit, by gross profit, copy this thing. We also know the salary. The salary is already given departmental wise to salary, which is 5490. Then there is 8520, and there is also 12220. Okay. Now, indirect expenses is the next one, which we will have to prepare a note for. So, calculation of indirect expenses. I will have to do a small note for this. Okay. Now, there are two parts given to us for indirect expenses. They've said indirect expenses for the whole business of all the three departments are 10,800. Out of this, one-sixth of the whole are to be divided in all the three departments in this proportion, 1:1:3, and the balance is to be charged in proportion to departmental sales. So basically, there are two ratios. So we will check first what is one-sixth. Okay, so it's going to be 10,800, the total, into 1 divided by 6, which gives you 1,800, which gives you 1,800. This 1,800 I have to divide in the ratio of 1 is to 1 is to 3. And if I take it for each of the departments, ABC, 1 is to 1 is to 3, it's going to be 1,800 divided in the ratio of 1 is to 1 is to 3, it's going to be 360. 360, 360, you can check this, and it's going to be 1080. All these amounts put together should come to all these amounts put together should come to 1,800. So 10 out of 10,800, 1,800 is already sorted. The second one, that is 10,800 minus 1,800, is equal to, we will get 9,000. This 9,000 has to be divided, what they said, this balance of indirect expenses is to be charged in proportion to departmental sales. So basically this proportion. Okay, so you can either remove the three zeros and keep it this way, or you can keep reducing it lower. But I will just, I think, 6. Yeah, I think for now, just to save time, I will keep it that way. 42 is to 36 is to 102. 42 is to 36 is to 102. So 9,000 divide 9,000 into 42 upon the total of these three. 9,000 into 36 upon the total of these three. 9,000 into 102 upon the total of these three. If you do that calculation, you will get 2,100. Then you will get 1,800, and you will get 5,000. Whatever it is, this three put together has to come to 9,000. So the total of this is going to be, for each of the departments, we will check. For A, it's going to be, the total is going to be 2,460. Then here it's going to be 2,160. and this is going to be 6,180. 6,100. So if I try to put this here, two indirect expenses, 2460, 2160, and 618. So this is just a short working note for these indirect expenses. So now we can calculate our net profit. So here again we'll have a total of 16,800, 10,800, and 30,600. To net profit. To net profit. The net profit is 8850, 120, and 12,000. Okay, so it's a very simple problem. I did the problem for two reasons. One is to show that closing stock has to be found out because gross profit is given, and basically for the indirect expenses. Okay, so though it's very simple, I just thought of